Trade talks are heating up for the New York Rangers as an insider has revealed that it's actually happening. The New York Rangers are actively pursuing one of the league's elite scorers, and this has major implications moving forward on not only the lineup, but what the Rangers are sending back the other way. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 74% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with your New York Rangers, this is the place to be for all your daily New York Rangers content. But let's dive right into it. Insider Vince Mercogliano has revealed that the New York Rangers are interested in not only Jason Robertson, who we are going to cover in this video, which is absolutely mind-blowing just to start, but other young star players in this league to try and make a difference. And the return going back the other way will shock Rangers fans. We're going to get into it here. And again, Vince said that it's the time of year where names are floated and proposals are pitched, many of which won't gain traction, but it's also a time for GMs to aim high, with New York Rangers Chris Drury in an aggressive mood. So by all accounts, not only from Vince, Chris Drury is trying to make some things happen right now. He is active. He is definitely active, calling multiple teams and calling on different players. And he wants to rejig the blue line. We're going to touch on that in this video as well. But he wants to make a splash. He wants to make an impact. He wants to make this team a contender immediately by getting younger and honestly better. And that's with Jason Robertson. I thought this was very interesting on Jason Robertson in this article from Vince Mercogliano. He said teams are buzzing around the 25-year-old star. And keep in mind, Jason Robertson is only 25 and he's a multi-time 40-goal scorer. So he can score in this league. He's a great player and, a point-a-game player in this league, playoff performer. So it will be interesting to see. And, he was wondering if they can seize on Dallas's itch to change following its third straight loss in the Western Conference Final. Of course, firing their coach in Pete DeBoer as well. And the Rangers, I'm told, are one of the teams in on trying to get Jason Robertson. And there is a reason for this, and I'll get to that in a second. But I thought this was also interesting from Vince Mercogliano. And I think Brett's going to have a video on this later as well, kind of breaking this down specifically and why, they should keep certain players and why they should go out and get some other players. And we're also going to be streaming it on Wednesday for the first time on the channel, a live stream. So if you guys want to check that out, we're going to be talking about all of this and breaking it all down and seeing what makes sense and what people are saying and what the fan base wants as well. But from Vince Mercogliano, the Rangers are prioritizing speed, size, and snarl. They have interest in JJ Peterka and Jason Robertson. Now, if you have to trade Will Cooley, who's behind me here, I keep pointing that out, his jersey behind me here, for any of these guys, you are trading speed, size, and snarl for speed, size, and snarl. That makes no sense to me, right? You have to keep Will Cooley in these trades if you're going to be making, acquiring a player like that, because you want to add more of it. You don't want to trade what that is away for what that is. It doesn't make sense. You want to add more of it to the team. And I thought this was interesting from the article as well. The Rangers and team president Chris Drury are right in the thick of it right now. They're trying to make things happen. Chris Drury is very aggressive. We know the draft is only a couple weeks away. I think he's open to trading that draft pick as well. I think they're going to keep this year's, and I think he's open to trading it for the right deal. And he's not happy with the way that last season turned out. So he really wants to revive this roster. And I thought this was interesting as well. We have to keep in mind when talking about Jason Robertson, he is due $7.75 million next season. And this is the final year of his contract. He is an RFA, so keep that in mind. But he is due a big raise. He's projected at almost $11 million. So we have to keep that in mind. But if he came to New York, maybe it takes a little bit less. You don't know, right? Because of some, endorsement deals and stuff like that. Probably won't happen, but he's going to be owed quite a lot of money. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But the reason I think this is possible is for a couple reasons. And one of them is this. Another report from Larry Brooks that came out just a little while ago as well, that sources believe that while Drury is casting a wide net, the Blue Shirts' most noteworthy moves will be made with a Western Conference club. He does not want to send Keandre Miller or any other players to an Eastern Conference opponent. Now, who plays in the Western Conference? Jason Robertson. He plays for the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference. So I think that this actually makes more sense than JJ Peterka. And when you look at JJ Peterka, and again, we're going to have videos on this too, and I don't think my opinion on this is going to change. Why would the Buffalo Sabres make that trade? It makes no sense. It makes sense for the New York Rangers. I get that, but that makes no sense for the Buffalo Sabres. Jason Robertson makes sense for both parties. And yes, I don't think you should trade Will Cooley. But if you have to include him in this trade, you at least consider it. But I wouldn't include him in this trade. I would be open, and I know a lot of people are going to think this is a little crazy. When you look at the defense, the Dallas Stars need defense. They need help on their defense. Their defense is very suspect at best. A right shot defenseman in Braden Schneider could get this trade done. Could get this trade across the finish line. I love Braden Schneider, but when you look at the right side, you have Adam Fox. And for those of you who are saying trade Adam Fox, I disagree. He's quite literally an elite defenseman in this. I mean, look at this. This is a JFresh chart, the Advanced Analytics. He is an elite defenseman in this league. I know he's not the same, but nobody is as they age through this league, right? Obviously, you want to win when guys are like 23, 24. That would be ideal, but no young teams win in this league. So it's just the fact of the matter. He's an elite defenseman still. So I don't think you trade him. Will Borgen, you need a defenseman like that. I'm not saying Braden Schneider is expendable, but in this league, you need to give to get. And, you know, all these mock trades and all this, like, it'd be nice to trade the first round pick and that would be it, but it just doesn't work that way, right? So maybe you look up trading Braden Schneider. Again, I love Braden Schneider. I think he's great, and I would prefer to hold on to him. But if you can make this team better in that way, and then, you know, use some of the cap space that you're going to have, that surely you're going to have, because I think they're going to make some more trades, including Chris Kreider as well, and some assets to then go and fill in the left side of the defense, because that's another issue as well. But in terms of that's for another video. But in terms of Jason Robertson, I think it makes sense because he wants to trade with a Western Conference team rather than an Eastern Conference team. And again, last thing I wanted to touch on here before we wrap up too is this tweet as well, which I do agree with in terms of all the moves that they're going to be making. You do not trade Keandre Miller for the sake of trading Keandre Miller, right? Should you trade him? Yes, if you can upgrade. If there's a plan in the works to ship out Keandre Miller, you get assets in return, and then you can use those assets to go fill in the left side. Either it's cap space or whatever it is. You have to make a couple moves, right? And again, I think Chris Kreider's on the way out to free up that cap space. You have to make a couple moves there, but you do not trade Keandre Miller for the sake of trading Keandre Miller. But I do think, you know, maybe it's something that the Dallas Stars are looking at. Again, their left side is actually very good. They got Heiskin in there. They got, you know, Thomas Harley, who's an elite player in this league as well. So I don't think they want a left shot defenseman, but maybe they want Keandre Miller to play the right. I think maybe Schneider's in play too. I think you can make this trade work, and Jason Robertson makes this team really good. Like, really good. This is an elite player in this league. He really is, and I think he's going to get paid that way, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But they're going to have to shift some salary cap space around. They're going to have to make some deals. So let me know in the comments how you feel about Jason Robertson. Again, would you include Will Cooley in it? Would you include Braden Schneider in it? That was kind of a mock trade we broke down a couple days ago. In this league, you have to give to get. You know, I think there's a way to get him without giving up a lot of what you're trying to get in return, which is, you know, basically Will Cooley. You don't want to trade him, and I think he's going to have just a great year next year as well, and you want more of what he is on the team. But let me know in the comments, would you go after Jason Robertson? It seems like it's kind of lining up that way. It's going to be kind of difficult to get it done, but again, let me know in the comments, and how you feel about Keandre Miller as well. Let me know. There's a lot going on with the New York Rangers. We're going to have a ton of content over the next couple of days. We're live streaming on Wednesday. Stay tuned for that. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.